Heavy rain and significant flooding continue across southeast Queensland and northeast New South Wales after enormous rainfall amounts across southeast Queensland overnight, in excess of 400 millimetres in some areas, associated with the remnants of ex-tropical cyclone Alfred. Taking a look at some of those rainfall totals now, we had a widespread 200 millimetres plus across parts of far southeast Queensland, including the Sunshine Coast, the Brisbane area, the Gold Coast and the Gold Coast hinterland. Some of those top totals seen in the 24 hours to 9 o'clock this morning include 433 millimetres at Diamond Valley, 410 at Wongawallan. Closer to Brisbane, we saw 361 millimetres at Green Hill Reservoir, and in Brisbane City itself, we had 275 millimetres in the rain gauge. This has produced widespread flash flooding across these areas and a real challenge for people to wake up to start off their week. These heavy falls, these high rainfall totals were driven by bands of showers and thunderstorms moving through in the overnight period. Severe thunderstorm warnings were current for most of the night, flagging where those most dangerous storms were, bringing those intense falls. We did see rain and storms through parts of northeast New South Wales as well, but rainfall totals were much lower compared to what we saw on the Queensland side of the border. Now, those heaviest falls were brought about by the thunderstorms, as I mentioned. They can be seen in this radar imagery as the yellow and orange colours. And as we go through the rest of today and that heavy rainfall remains a risk, you can check out the radar on the Bureau's website or via the Bomb Weather app and pick those areas of heavy rainfall or storms for yourself as they move through in real time. For the rest of today, though, we do have that expectation of heavy rainfall continuing, may tend locally intense in some areas. Our severe weather warning for heavy to locally intense rain does cover parts of the southeast coast district, southern parts of the Wide Bay and Burnett, and parts of the Darling Downs and Granite Belts in Queensland. On the New South Wales side of the border, mostly we're seeing that warning covering the northern tablelands and northwest slopes and plains. Most notably in this warning update from 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, much of the northern rivers and Gold Coast area have been removed from the warning. We may still see showers and isolated thunderstorms moving through during the course of today, but they're unlikely to bring those very heavy rainfall totals. The area of intense rainfall is most likely across southeast inland Queensland. Those intense falls may at times impact places like Ipswich, Gatton and the Lockyer Valley through today. Intense rainfall totals mean 6-hourly rainfall totals of up to 150 millimetres are possible. Compare that to the rest of our warning area where we're looking at 6-hourly rainfall totals of 60 to 100 millimetres. All that rain is coming on top of quite a few very wet days already. As a result, we do still have widespread flood warnings and watches in place for much of southeast Queensland and northeast New South Wales. Major flood warnings are still in place for the Logan and Albert Rivers, the Bremer River and Worrell Creek, as well as for the Laidley Creek. Moderate flood warnings are in place for the Lockyer Valley, and as you can see, multiple other minor to moderate flood warnings are current for other catchments, spilling down into northeast New South Wales as well. It's worth noting that we do still have flood watches in place for broader parts of southeast Queensland and northern inland New South Wales, in the expectation of that focused rainfall starting to move away from the coast. So exactly how will it track through the course of today? During the rest of this morning and going into the early afternoon, of course, we may still see those heavy falls in the areas flagged by our severe weather warning. However, as we go further through the afternoon and towards this evening, we're going to see that heavy rainfall risk starting to ease along those southeast coastal parts. However, it will continue across parts of southern inland Queensland and northern inland New South Wales. Now, that's not to say those areas closer to the coast won't see severe thunderstorms that may bring localised heavy falls. It will more be the widespread heavy rainfall that will start to ease back in those areas. As we go through this evening, overnight and into tomorrow, we're likely to see that trend continuing. The risk of heavy falls continuing across southern inland Queensland, parts of northern inland New South Wales as well. And by the time we get to tomorrow, we're looking at much patchier showers through much of southeast Queensland and northeast New South Wales. Locally, heavy falls may still be a risk, but broadly speaking, the rainfall totals we're looking at come tomorrow are much lower through these areas than what we've seen over the weekend and what we're expecting today. Our rainfall accumulations for that period tell the same story. We're now seeing the highest rainfall accumulations indicated by the reds and purples in this graphic, starting to push inland from the coast across those areas away from the far southeast. Of course, as you can see from this graphic, widespread rain is still anticipated between now and tomorrow afternoon, but it's less likely to bring those heavy falls back to that far southeast coast. We are still expecting a number of severe weather hazards to continue across this period. Of course, flash flooding is always going to be a risk wherever we see heavy rainfall, whether it's just heavy or whether it gets to that intense level. That quickly moves over roads, walkways, and other areas, leading to very dangerous conditions to be out and about in. Riverine flooding, as we've mentioned, is also an ongoing concern. We're seeing many rivers continuing to respond in an upwards direction, continuing to rise with this rain that's moving through the catchments, and riverine flooding is likely to persist through tomorrow and into the middle and later part of the week, even as the rain starts to ease off. Finally, we're seeing a lot of trees downed, debris across the roads, and power outages thanks to this rainfall moving through. This is likely to continue for a few days depending on your area, and it may also contribute to dangerous conditions out on the roads. You can always find the latest forecast and warning information via the Bureau's website and the BOM Weather app. Stay safe, and we'll catch you in the next update.